Hello, my name is Khaled. I studied at ACSE and I graduated this year. Before coming to university, I studied international A-levels and GCSEs in Egypt, and then I applied to come and study M-Eng in Mechatronics and Robotics Engineering in ACSE at the University of Sheffield. The reason why I chose ACSE specifically was I was very much interested in the area of mechatronics and robotics, and I found that with most other universities, this tend to be sort of grouped under mechanical engineering department or electrical engineering department, without much of a focus on the particular aspect that I'm interested in. But I found that with ACSE, with it being the automatic control and systems engineering department, there is a dedicated department to the subject that I'm interested in, and I felt that that would give me a much better experience than being under electrical engineering or mechanical engineering, as is the case with most other universities. And the reason why I chose the University of Sheffield specifically was A, the department as I mentioned before, but B, there is quite a lot of great things about Sheffield as a city and the University of Sheffield specifically. So Sheffield is very green. It's a great city to be in as a student. It's not as expensive as other cities, but also there's a lot to do, whether that be a city life or going outdoors, with the Peak District being right around the corner. So these were all aspects that very much attracted me to the university. But also there are all the activities involved within the university itself, all the different societies, sports teams, and so on. And I did get involved in quite a few of those throughout my degree, and it formed a very big part of my experience in Sheffield, and I absolutely loved it. What I liked about my time in ACSE was just the variety of different things that I got to see and I got to get involved in, really. I was able to see that my degree is very versatile in the sense that I can apply it in a wide variety of different things, and one day we'd be working on cars, the other day we'd be working or at least studying cars, the other day we'd be talking about control systems in planes and so on. So this varied nature of the course and of the subject made me quite interested, and this is obviously also reflected in the modules being offered. You can choose from a huge variety of modules that make the experience very interesting, and you can tailor it to what interests you rather than it being a very rigid set course that you have to stick to. My final year project is pretty much the reason why I actually got the job that I got when I came out of university. For my final year project, I looked at a very particular area of robotics known as localization, and it was quite a technically challenging project, but that was great because I was able to learn the skills required for the job that I'm now doing, and I was able to get to access support through my supervisor and through the wider university, which was quite helpful. So that was definitely a great plus, and I would say that the final year project is probably the main reason why I am where I am right now. In terms of extracurricular activities and placements that I got involved in, I actually got involved in quite a few of those, and again, they were very crucial to my learning experience and my growth, both as an engineer and as a well-rounded person in general. So in terms of placements, I did a summer placement pretty much in every summer of my degree. So most of these were in small companies, one of them being in Sheffield, another was a startup in Edinburgh, and that gave me a great way to sort of understand how professional life in a sense works, but also gain a bit of hands-on experience, which I think is quite important as an engineer. You can sit in a classroom and learn, or rather listen to all sorts of information, but unless you apply it, you don't really get to understand what it means. And then for my year in industry, so that was after my third year, I went to Rolls-Royce Control Systems, where I got to work on jet engines, the control systems for jet engines, and that was incredibly exciting. I got to work on something that is now flying on planes, which was very, very exciting. And the other thing that I would say that was a great advantage of these placements and these internships were that during each of these placements and each of these internships, I got to learn a little bit more about what is it that I like and what is it that I don't like. And as a result, I was able to make a very informed decision about what I want to do once I graduate. In terms of extracurricular activities, I also did a variety of those, and luckily there are quite a few now available at the university, so I'd highly encourage anybody who's interested in that sort of thing to get involved in it. So the particular one that I did most of my work on was the ROV, so that's the remotely operated under vehicle competition, which is an international competition that takes place in the States, and we got to build an underwater robot with a lot of support from the university and the department, and we got to travel with that, which was quite an exciting experience. Again, because of the very much hands-on aspect of it, but also because we got to talk to sponsors, we got to talk to companies, we got to travel, and all of that is a crucial part of the engineer's growth, in my opinion. I also worked briefly on a project called Mars Works, which is again an international competition to build a Mars rover replica, and again that's exciting. And I would say that these projects formed some of the core knowledge or the core experience that I got from my time at the university. And they helped me a lot when I was looking for placements and when I was looking for a job, because I was able to demonstrate my skills through actual practical work. In terms of my current work, so I currently work at the National Oceanography Centre in Southampton as a robotics engineer, working on their autonomous underwater vehicles. And it's a very exciting job. I get to go out to sea in expeditions, to test the robot and to maintain it and to look after it. And it's a very exciting job. And again, to be able to get to that point, the underwater robotics competition that I got involved in was a huge aspect of the learning experience and the practical skills that I gained, and I was able to demonstrate for this job. But also my final year project and the work that I've done on that was quite important when it came to applying to this job and going through the interview process. I would say that my main advice for current and future students in the department is to make the most out of what you have at the university. I talked about these extracurricular projects that are available, and luckily these are being more and more recognized throughout the department and the university in general, and that's very important because they get the funding and attention that they need to support these students and to make sure that they are able to achieve the most that they can. So try to get involved in that as much as you can. This will give you hands-on experience, and you'll be able to demonstrate to employers that you have the required skills to do the job, and not just the knowledge. And that I found that to be very, very important when I was applying for jobs personally. And the same applies to internships and placements. If you have a chance to do that, go do it. Even if it's a small company. I did my first ever placement in a tiny company in Sheffield, but I learned a lot from it. So even if it's a small company, go apply, go talk to them and get involved, because that is gonna make your life a whole lot easier, both in understanding what you're learning at university, but also in applying for jobs later in the future when you graduate. And don't be scared of rejections. It happens all the time. I got a lot of these before I got any acceptances, but also don't be scared to just reach out to companies. One of the internships that I got was simply me sending an email to a small company in Edinburgh and saying, hey, I'm interested in what you do, can I come and do an internship with you in the summer? And they said yes, and it was as simple as that. I would say that's a very important thing to do. And just try to make the most of all the things around you, including sports and other activities. That's all important for your full experience of the university, if that makes sense.